What's up, YouTube? Thank you for stopping by. Guys, I am so very excited to be able to finally announce that we are a big single Duramax, right? We are finally here. We have finally been able to install the S400 kit that we got from Wehrli Custom Fab into this LB7 Duramax behind me here, and I am super pumped about it. It has been a goal of mine to be able to, this is the fixed vane Duramax channel, and while the LB7s always did have a fixed vane charger in them, it's not a real fixed vane charger, right? It's not a real S400 style setup, which we now finally do have in the truck. So I am super excited about it. I've had it in the truck now for about a week and a half. We've had the truck, a couple things rescaled on it, and it is driving absolutely phenomenally, and I am super excited to share it with you. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and pop this open. We're probably gonna need just a little bit more light. You can see that it is gorgeous, but you can't see just how gorgeous it is, so we need our handy dandy light bar. Shout out to Jack here while we're at it. So this is what we've got, guys. So if you are new here, we went ahead and pulled out the 64mm Wold Fab drop-in charger that was in the truck, as well as the stock appearing style charge air piping system, and we have replaced it now with an S467 from Forced Inductions, billet wheel, blah blah blah. It is a beautiful charger. They did a fantastic job, powder coated at Wehrli Custom Fab, as well as in the S400 install kit, pedestal, intake, charge piping, etc., all came from Wehrli Custom Fab. And once again, like usual, they did an absolutely phenomenal job. This is their Kingsport Gray and Illusion Cherry. It's a really common, beautiful pairing. Everybody loves it, including myself. I've had Illusion Cherry in the truck now for 6-7 years, however long I've had it. And I've loved it from day one, and I still do. So this is what we've got. It was actually a fairly detailed install, guys, which was half the reason why I did not share it with you. First of all, I was under the gun trying to get the truck done. Our first snow of the year was coming in the middle of last week. I knew they were salting the roads, and I needed this to be done and tested before that happened, so because the truck is no longer going to go out most likely for quite a long time now. So I wanted to get that done to make sure the truck was running healthy and got it rescaled and retuned in the meantime as well. So I apologize for not bringing you along for that. However, it is a fairly detailed install. It's not necessarily hard, but it is detailed, right? I mean, you're working with exhaust, you're making sure you're plugging off a certain oil supply and drains, and your coolant supply and drains, and rerouting new ones and things like that. So it's not necessarily hard, but there is a lot of steps, and you do need to be careful that you do them in the right order, so that you do not starve the engine or starve the turbo or anything like that. Now that I've done one, I could do another one in a heartbeat really quickly and really enjoy it, but the first one did take a little bit of time, and since I was under the gun, it was a little bit stressful, but it was still really a lot of fun, and it's a lot better when the result is as good as it is. So enough of me talking about it, right? How does it sound? How does it do, right? So this truck, guys, I cannot express how awesome this truck is to drive now, right? It is absolutely phenomenal. I can't tell you how much horsepower we gained, anything like that. Seat of the pants, I would like to say we're right in that 700 horse range, maybe a little higher. Maybe that's being optimistic. I really don't know. I do feel like it's a really good pairing as far as the size of the injectors and the turbo now, right? The truck is still, I think there's more turbo than there is fuel, at least for the way it's tuned right now. It is a very clean burning setup. Still spools really well. That was the biggest thing I was worried about. I was like, well, this is kind of a large charger system to be putting in this for 65% overs. However, I went with the smallest turbine and the tightest AR housing that I could, trying to keep some drivability in the truck. And after we rescaled the intake MAF, the MAF for the 5-inch intake, it helped it out quite a bit as far as knowing how much air is coming in and then fueling to match that. And so it actually is exceptionally drivable, has awesome street manners, and I could not be happier with it. And so I'm glad I was thinking I was going to do an S463 or an S464 instead of the 67 or even a 68, and so I was worried. I was like, well, maybe we're on the top end of what we can handle, and frankly, guys, it runs so absolutely fantastic, and it sounds absolutely fantastic. So I went out and I got some sound clips here for you guys. It is ridiculously windy. It's like 20 degrees and ridiculous. There's probably 30 mile an hour winds going right now, 20 mile an hour winds going right now, which means Exterior GoPro footage is not very good, but I did get some from inside the cab. We'll try one outside the cab as well, so it lets you take a listen. This turbo sounds phenomenal. The truck sounds phenomenal behind it. So I really don't think that the GoPro can really do this thing justice as far as how it sounds. Definitely, obviously not how it feels. And so I would like to be able to get some more videos. I mean, we definitely will by next year, of course, but I'd love to be able to get some earlier than that too. Just some spool up videos and that kind of stuff of this. Frankly, guys, I was very, very nervous about putting an S400 in the truck, and now having done so, I cannot recommend it. Obviously, you got to have the supporting mods for it, so don't just take a completely stock truck and do this. But it was like, oh my gosh, it's this big, outlying thing that you can't do unless you're on this grand scale, but it's been fantastic. The truck is still so much more drivable than I was expecting it to be, and it just looks fantastic sitting in there. It's such a big frame charger. When you pop open the hood, it's just like, boom, there is this massive turbo, and it looks so good. And frankly, it's not that big, right? 67 millimeter charger. I'm sure there's a lot of actual performance guys that are on here probably laughing at me that I'm thinking it's a big deal that I'm putting a 67 millimeter charger in the truck, but it is a big deal for me. And frankly, now that you have this S4, or now that I have this S400 setup, I can swap out chargers really easily and leave the rest of the system alone, right? That is one of the neat things about going to more of a universal frame charger like an S3 or S400. So anyway, guys, that is where we're at. Now, as far as what the truck is going to do for the rest of the year, the answer is not much, right? Like I say, we have already gotten our first salt. We've already gotten our first snows. So we'll see what the rest of the year looks like. If it cleans up, maybe we'll take it out some more yet, but we will see. Other than that, it is pretty well going to sit in this garage. It needs to get detailed and cleaned up yet. I think I'm going to put a tonneau cover on it, actually. I've realized how amazing tonneau covers are, and I would like to put one on. First of all, I think they look awesome. And second of all, they're just really practical as far as, for hauling the family and hauling the boat. I'd like to have one. So anyway, I'm going to figure out which one I want, and we're going to get that put on this year. The other big thing that I don't know what to do about, guys, is the rust on this truck, right? I have done a lot on this truck as far as getting rid of the rust on the doors, the fenders, the bed, all of that. However, I still have the rockers and the cab corners to deal with, because literally one of the only original pieces left on the truck is the cab shell, besides the frame, but we were able to handle the frame. So we're not in that bad of shape except for the cab corner on this side. I know it's dark, so hopefully you can see this, but the cab corner on this side has failed me big time. So I am not exactly sure what to do about that. If I'm being totally honest, there's only one real solution to this, right? There's only one right way to do this. And frankly, I've always wanted to try and tackle that job. I know I'm fully capable as far as my fabricating skills and all of that. It's more of it's just a lot of work and it's really daunting. So I'm not sure if we're gonna get to that this winter, if I'm gonna pay somebody else to do it or just embrace it and let it go for now. We will see. I would really like to say that's not what we're gonna do, but we're gonna find out. So that's where we're gonna leave this video, guys. If you haven't already, please do leave a comment. Let me know what you think of this charger. Let me know what you think of the color combination. Should we have gone with something different? Should we have gone with a different size? Did we go too big, too small? And anything else you'd like to see me do with the truck here, guys. But other than that, we are going to pretty well get it cleaned up, maybe do a few things over the winter time, but she's gonna go ahead and go into hibernation for a while. See ya.